Yo, what's going on, guys? It's your boy Psycho, and I've got another video for you all today. This one is actually going to be my review of the movie titled Sausage Party. Just to start it off the bat, I just want to say Sausage Party is a prime example of a successful, hilarious raunch fest. And when I say raunch fest, I freaking mean a raunch fest. Overall, the advertisements of the movie, I felt like, were very truthful in showing what this movie has to offer. As a person that enjoyed the advertisements, I enjoyed the movie just as much. One thing that I would like to point out though, and this is something that should be duly noted, the characters in this movie spend a whole lot longer in this grocery store that's shown than you would think according to the advertisements. It's kind of hard to explain everything due to the fact that I don't want to spoil some stuff, but that's just kind of a heads up because they will be in that supermarket for a decent amount of time before they actually get to escape. Just to give you guys some insight as to what this story is actually like, these food characters basically believe that humans are gods. They believe that once they are picked from the supermarket, they become the chosen ones and they are taken to the great beyond. They then believe that's when the humans take them home and care for them. Everything is going to be perfect. The hot dogs can finally get inside the buns, if you know what I'm saying. And it's just a great time for the food. Now those are the perceptions that the food has before it's actually shown that that's not the case. I thought the story was actually a whole lot more interesting than I expected. It actually has a lot of intelligent metaphorical undertones. Honestly, I could have gone into this movie without any sort of complicated plot and still enjoyed it, but the fact that it did have a decent plot also adds on to one of the reasons why I loved it. Now that I've mentioned the plot, I would also say that the voice acting is absolutely fantastic. The animations are so crisp and well done. Even the writing for the jokes and dialogue are pretty much on point. And of course you can't review a comedy movie without talking about some of the jokes and if they were successful or not. I personally really love the jokes that were used in this movie. For the most part, the majority of them were successful jokes. Other than jokes, there's also additional types of comedy within this movie, and that is with the cussing. Now this will be funny or not funny, depending on the type of person you are. If you don't mind cussing, you might find this funny. But if you don't like cussing, then I'm not sure if this movie is for you, because they cuss a freaking lot. What I'm saying here is, cussing can actually be pretty hilarious if it has the right placement in a sentence. There was actually a lot of successful placement with the cussing that made a lot of scenes funny. I think that this is something that is often done wrong in other movies, and when it's done wrong, it feels like the cussing is forced. However, in this movie, the majority of the jokes involving cussing actually feel natural and organic and hilarious. Just to give you guys one example of funny cussing that was in the movie, this was actually even in the advertisement, so you don't have to worry about spoilers, but this is when one of the foods tells the hot dog, "We're the non-perishables, motherfucker." Like, I felt like they did that perfect. It was freaking hilarious in my opinion, because they had that successful placement and emphasis on the word. Like I said earlier, the animations were absolutely beautiful. There are some scenes within this movie that are very colorful scenes, and when you actually see them you think, holy shit, okay, I know this is a comedy movie, but these animations are freaking on point. They also do a very cool thing with colors in this movie, and that is actually when they show the food talking, getting excited, living their daily lives. They have everything extremely colorful. However, where it shows a human's perspective, where no food is talking, it's just basic things on the shelf, it adds some sort of black and white tint to the color, kind of differencing it from the original color when it shows the food talking. I just thought that was really awesome, and sometimes they slip it in parts where you might not recognize it. That little touch right there can also kind of be important to the story, where you realize what perspective you're looking at, because maybe it's a bird's eye view. Are you taking a perspective of the food's world, or are you taking a perspective of the human's world? And that kind of gives you an inside look ahead of time of that. In addition, the novelty of the food never really wore off for me in this movie. Honestly, after watching this movie, you're going to look at food a different way for at least a few days. As I was getting farther into the movie, I thought, alright, this has been hilarious so far. They've made a ton of jokes, but I honestly don't know where they're going to take it next, just because they've covered so many different jokes with different food. At that point right there, though, they'll prove you wrong and prove that they have a ton of more jokes left. They use puns, they use visual imagery, they use a ton of stuff. In addition, this movie can be offensive, But the good thing about it is, it doesn't go after one specific group, it goes after everybody. Nobody is safe in this movie. Honestly, if you get offended easily, this movie probably won't be for you, so I don't know if I would recommend it. I think it would honestly be stupid to get offended though, because it goes after everybody, therefore, it still makes this equal. Like I said, the novelty of these foods, discovering that the gods, the people they look up to and expect to be great human beings, are actually eating them, that discovery just never gets old, and it was a hilarious scene that unfolded. They even make it seem like a horror movie, and they do it perfectly. In addition, there is an ending scene of this movie that is just so freaking over the top and insane that I could not believe what I was watching. Now, there are actually two different insane parts, but one is towards the very end, and this is where I could actually feel my face getting red in this theater. And it actually kind of made things feel awkward, because you think of the fact you're watching this weirdness unfold on TV with other people that are watching this weirdness, and it feels like you shouldn't be watching this in public with other people around you, just because it's so dirty, and it's like, holy shit, am I really watching this right now? I freaking loved the scene though. It was ballsy, it was over the top, it was funny. It was one of those things that made you think, I cannot believe I paid to watch this. But of course, in a good way. Moving on to the end of this movie, I felt like they actually dealt with it very well. Towards maybe the very back half of this movie, I was thinking, okay, now that this has happened, where are they going to take this for the bigger story? The ending actually seemed like one of the only best options, and they chose it perfectly. Moving on to some of the metaphorical undertones, there's a lot of things in this movie that actually relate to real-life religion. Now, this is not necessarily forced down your throat, but it is shown in a few scenes and referenced to. I just felt like it was kind of cool how they made a cartoon seem a lot more deeper than what people assume it would be. Anyways, this was a great movie, extremely enjoyable, great voice acting, great animations, well-executed jokes, likable characters, creative jokes and references. The majority of it was extremely enjoyable, and I would recommend it to anyone that wants to go out and have a blast with a raunchy comedy. However, I would not recommend this to young kids. Trust me on this, guys. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate it. This was a movie I've really been excited for a decent amount of time, so to finally go to the movie theaters and enjoy this movie, it's just overall a good feeling. I really do appreciate you all watching, and if you want to make sure and leave a like on this video, that would help out an absolute ton, and support future movie reviews, and support my channel as well. Thank you guys once again for watching. Peace out.